Welcome back. Today we bring you another inspiring tale of an entrepreneur, investor, and businessman. Without further delay, let's dive right in. There are lives that unfold like quiet rivers, predictable and steady, and then there are lives like storms, full of invention and undeniable impact. Shervin Pishevar's story belongs to the latter. It begins in Tehran, in a family touched by danger and displacement, and moves across continents into the heart of Silicon Valley. Yet what made him rise to the world stage was not just his daring investments or the bold technologies he embraced, but something deeper, a restless pursuit of change, sometimes celebrated, sometimes challenged, but always impossible to ignore. And there is one moment, buried in the middle of his journey, that reshaped how the world saw him, though its full truth was never fully known. Born on March 24, 1974, Shervin Pishevar entered a world already brimming with complexity. His father, Abraham Pishevar, was a respected television and radio executive in Tehran, while his mother, Esra, nurtured the family with quiet strength. But their comfortable life was soon fractured by political unrest. Abraham's broadcasts included instructions on how citizens might leave Iran safely, an act that drew threats to his life. Faced with this peril, the Peshevars left behind everything they knew and began anew in the United States. Abraham, once an influential media voice, found himself driving a taxi in Maryland while simultaneously studying mass communication at Howard University, determined to rebuild. Shervin, shaped by both sacrifice and resilience, carried the weight of his parents' expectations. They hoped he would pursue medicine, a secure and noble path. At Montgomery Blair High School, renowned for its emphasis on math and science, Shervin excelled. But even then, his ambitions extended beyond classrooms. As a junior, he was elected as a student member of the Montgomery County Board of Education. There, still just a teenager, he championed bold initiatives, proposals for education tax, and even encouraging charitable donations from student projects. It was a taste of leadership, of ideas meeting policy, and it sparked something inside him. At the University of California, Berkeley, his academic curiosity expanded. Majoring in molecular cellular biology, he explored research into meganin peptides, work that would later contribute to the Istanbul Protocol, an international guide for documenting torture. Science fascinated him, but so did communication. He co-founded Berkeley Scientific, the first peer-reviewed undergraduate research journal in the U.S., giving voice to young researchers like himself. His intellectual journey didn't stop there. He also pursued graduate courses in health economics at Berkeley School of Public Health. These experiences wove together threads of science, social good, and curiosity, threads that would reappear in the ventures he later built. By the late 1990s, the internet was beginning to alter the fabric of society, and Shervin Pishevar, barely in his 20s, was ready to leap. At 23, he founded WebOS, a company ahead of its time. It offered cross-browser interfaces for the internet, effectively proposing a web-based operating system long before cloud computing became common. Industry observers called it disruptive. Though WebOS dissolved in 2001, it laid the foundation for what evolved into HyperOffice. The failure was not an ending, but a seed, proof of his instinct to see possibilities where others saw limits. In 2001, he co-founded Sherpa Capital, aligned with Vanderbilt University's technology company, to channel funds into early-stage startups. At the same time, he launched Ironside Interactive, exploring advanced 3D graphics and AI for handheld devices, and helped create Application Corporation, which built the HyperOffice messaging suite. The energy of the early 2000s tech boom matched his own restless creativity. Soon, his ventures became larger and more visible. As founding president, COO, and board member of Webs Inc., he transformed the company into a popular social publishing community. In 2008, he spun off Social Gaming Network, SGN, from Webs, securing major funding and helping it flourish before it was acquired by MindJolt in 2011. Alongside this, he worked with Mozilla Corporation and joined Menlo Ventures, where his influence deepened. At Menlo, he led investments in breakthrough companies like Tumblr, Warby Parker, and Machine Zone. Most notably, he helped lead Menlo's investment in Uber's Series B round, an early bet that would change the transportation industry. He also launched the Menlo Talent Fund to back seed-stage startups, strengthening Silicon Valley's ecosystem. By 2013, Shervin Pishevar was ready to create something of his own. Partnering with Scott Stanford, he co-founded Sherpa Capital, a venture capital firm designed not just to fund startups but to guide them. Their first investment in backups marked the beginning of a portfolio that soon included giants like Airbnb, Uber, and Munchery. In just a few years, Sherpa raised hundreds of millions, closing a $154 million fund in 2014, and later adding $470 million across two new funds in 2016. By mid-2017, investor confidence had pushed Sherpa's war chest to nearly $640 million. Pishevar had become a force in Silicon Valley, blending instinct, money, and mentorship. But his role with Uber revealed another dimension of his influence. As a strategic advisor from 2013, and later as a board observer until 2015, he became deeply entwined in the company's turbulent journey. When former CEO Travis Kalanick came under fire, Pishevar stood firmly by his side, even forming the Uber shareholder alliance to counter legal actions by Benchmark Capital. He filed motions, defended Kalanick, and fought to influence Uber's shareholder structure. It was advocacy mixed with loyalty, demonstrating his willingness to stand in the storm for causes and people he believed in. That same spirit led him into perhaps his boldest technological bet. Hyperloop One. Inspired by Elon Musk's challenge to create high-speed tube-based travel, Pishevar co-founded Hyperloop One in 2014 with Josh Giegel and Brogan Bembrogan. Sherpa Capital spearheaded the first $37 million investment round. The dream was audacious, near supersonic transportation that could transform cities and economies. Internal conflicts soon followed, leading to Bembrogan's departure. In 2017, Richard Branson's Virgin Group invested, and the company was rebranded Virgin Hyperloop One. It was a breakthrough moment. Yet just months later, Pishevar himself would step down from both Hyperloop One and Sherpa Capital, amid allegations that cast a shadow over his achievements. Those allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced in 2017 and shook his reputation. In London, he was briefly detained following an accusation of rape, but released and later cleared when the investigation found no evidence. He claimed a smear campaign was targeting him, fueled by a forged police report circulated among journalists. Pishevar sought injunctions, filed lawsuits, and fought to clear his name, accusing firms like Definers Public Affairs of spreading false rumors, even labeling him a Russian agent. Though his lawsuit was dismissed in 2018, he pressed on, determined to uncover the origins of the smear. It was a tumultuous chapter, one that illustrated both the fragility of public image and the tenacity with which he defended himself. Even amid controversy, Pishevar's influence was undeniable. He had been honored with the Ellis Island Medal of Honor in 2016, celebrated as an outstanding American by choice by the U.S. government, and appointed by President Obama to the J. William Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Board. He had spoken at Obama's Summit on Entrepreneurship, served on the UN Foundation's Global Entrepreneurs Council, and earned spots on Vanity Fair's New Establishment and the Forbes Midas list. Beyond business, he carried a passion for activism and social change. During Egypt's internet shutdown in 2011, he launched the Open Mesh project to build decentralized networks. He traveled to Cairo during the Arab Spring, witnessing how technology fueled grassroots movements. In the U.S., he supported the Startup Visa Act, advocating for immigrant entrepreneurs. In 2016, he proposed a mobile app to ease tensions during police traffic stops, seeking to reduce violence through better communication. He fundraised for Barack Obama's campaigns, and later for Hillary Clinton, and even voiced support for a California independence movement, though he clarified it as a push for greater national influence, not secession. His philanthropic streak ran deep. At Berkeley, he had volunteered in children's hospitals and reached out to help doctors in war-torn Bosnia. Later, he supported groups like Invisible Children, Charity Water, and the Boys Girls Clubs of America. He served on boards of arts and education nonprofits, co-founded 1% of Nothing to connect startups with charities, and launched the Cyrus Prize in 2013 to support Iranian inventors with grants. His giving spirit was not just professional, it extended to his role as a single father, raising two children with devotion and care. Even after stepping back from the public eye, His investments continued to shape industries, from Game 2 in drug discovery, to Limit Break in entertainment software, to terraformation in environmental services, and New Life in healthcare. His reach spans science, technology, and sustainability. He backed ventures like Brain Trust in human capital, Our Habitus in hospitality, Micromobility.com in automotive services, and CoinMine in hardware. He invested in Lightfield Lab, building consumer electronics with futuristic potential. Each check he wrote echoed his belief that innovation, in the hands of bold dreamers, could alter the world. Shervin Pishevar's life reads like a chronicle of extremes: immigrant beginnings, visionary ventures, global recognition, bruising controversies, and enduring investments. At its core lies the immigrant story: a family uprooted, a boy determined, a man who built and rebuilt across decades. His journey reminds us that greatness often comes with storms, and storms, however fierce, cannot erase the imprint of vision. The unfinished part of his story is not the companies or the accolades, not even the scandals. It is the question of what he will choose to build next and how history will ultimately remember him. Hence, an undeniable impact. Shervin Pishevar's story belongs to the latter. It begins in Tehran, in a family touched by danger and displacement, and moves across continents into the heart of Silicon Valley. Yet what made him rise to the world stage was not just his daring investments or the bold technologies he embraced, but something deeper: a restless pursuit of change, sometimes celebrated, sometimes challenged, but always impossible to ignore. And there is one moment, buried in the middle of his journey, that reshaped how the world saw him, though its full truth was never fully known.